morning. Thanks so much for connecting. I pray that all of you guys are having a great week so far. A great weekend as well. Good morning, Drika. Good morning, Bridget. Thanks so much for connecting this morning. Felicia, thanks so much for connecting this morning. Good morning to you. We're going to give it a couple more minutes, give a few more people time to connect with us, and we'll be getting started here shortly. Whoa, what's up, G? Happy Sunday to you as well. Thanks for connecting. I pray you guys have had a great weekend again. My weekend's been pretty chill. Got a chance to relax. So I'm loving that. I pray that all you guys have been able to adjust to this time change. You know, we was all on the struggle bus for the first couple days of the week, but I hope you've been able to make the adjustment. The sunshine is here for a short time, so we got to enjoy it. Mr. Robinson, good morning to you, sir. Thanks so much for connecting. Tay, thanks so much for connecting. Good morning to you. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started. And those who will be joining us later, they can catch what they miss on the replay. But we'll go ahead and get started here. because I got some stuff to talk about today. All right, cool. All right. Well, good morning to you again. Hey, first off, let me say this. We have to be praying for people across the country. I just read this morning where there are like 34 people, I think, that have been killed by this storm that was moving across the southern region of our country over the past few days. It's been like 34 people who've lost their lives. And so we want to be praying for those families. And we really have to pray when we see severe weather coming in. You guys, we have to be prayerful because it is unimaginable to lose your life. Good morning, Anita. To lose your life as a result of a weather pattern moving through whatever region you're in. I can imagine how tough that is for the family members and the loved ones of those who have lost their lives within the last 24, 48 hours. I mean, that I don't even know how you would ever rationalize or make sense of that. So, whenever you see severe weather coming through, just make sure that you're prayerful and taking whatever necessary precautions you need to take to make sure that you and your family is safe. Yeah, so I wanted to say that we got a lot of other stuff going on. I do want to touch on something. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna touch it. I'm gonna touch it. I was going back and forth in my mind whether or not I need to touch on something. Okay, so I don't know how many of you guys have read, but the Arlington Cemetery, Memorial Cemetery, I believe it is, for our veterans in yeah over in Arlington because of the ban on DEI, what have you. They have gone through and they've scrubbed their entire website of any historical information or archives that they had posted about blacks, Hispanics, or women that have served in our U.S. military. Now, somebody may say, well, that don't concern me because I was never in the military or don't have any loved ones in the military. And that's all fine and well. But there are some people that feel deeply about this. And where I am concerned is if you have a loved one who or a friend who have lost their lives fighting for this country, and then for this country to allow such foolishness, it could be very, very offensive. And I don't think that anything good is going to come out of continuing this way. So I want us to be praying that this whole thing, that God would just strengthen his people and give them the mental, the psychological capacity to balance and not to allow their emotions to lead in response to some of these things because it's just simply ridiculous. It's crazy. Yeah, so let's get into what we're talking about today. It's going to be good. I think you guys are going to be blessed by this. I'm going to read a passage of scripture. Yeah, I'll just read one verse. No, I'll read two. Romans 12, chapter, Romans chapter 12, verse number 2. That's Romans 12, verse number 2 and 3 only. The scripture says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. For I say, though, or through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. So, this passage of scripture, I want to talk about this because it's important that we understand exactly what is being implied in these two passages of scripture, especially of verse number 2, when it says, "Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." It's speaking in past tense as it relates to being not conformed. And then it says, "But be ye transformed." Those two things are completed because it's already in the past. But it says that by the renewing, ing, which means it's a continuation of your mind. In other words, you should never stop renewing your mind or becoming educated about life and what it takes for you to prove what is that good, acceptable, and perfect will of God for you. Now, this is talking about our spiritual evolution, who we evolve as spiritually, and how we evolve spiritually. Let me help you out with something really quick. I want to say this off the jump. I need to say this. When I say the evolution of your spiritual self, I'm not talking about your spiritual religion, right? Because we all have religion. We have things that we practice spiritually based upon our religion. But everything that pertains and relates and have the ability to impact your life, it's not all based upon your religion. See, because at the end of the day, your prayer life is not really based upon your religion. Your prayer life is not based upon your religion. Your prayer life is based upon your spiritual connection with God. Doesn't matter what church you go to, doesn't matter what your denominational background is. Your prayer life is based upon your relationship with God, and that alone. That's a spiritual connection that you have with God that is not rooted or based or tied to any denominational upbringing or any religious ties to a particular sect. So we're talking about spiritual evolution here, in the way that you evolve as a spirit being. Because just like we grow older and our black hair turn gray and our body evolves in time, so does your spirit evolve in the spiritual realm. And if in fact you are tending to and making sure that you are able to have that experience, or you're able to grow, you'll see that you'll begin to transform and evolve spiritually, and it'll bring about change in your everyday life because your spirit really has the ability to impact the way you move every day. And so some of us, I think, where you are caught in between procrastination and motion is that because you feel this call to evolve, but whenever you try to evolve according to your religion, spiritually, that's not it. It's like when you're looking for an outfit to wear to an event and say, "What do you want?" And you're like, "I don't know. I'll know it when I see it." And when you see something, you be like, "No, that's not it." And so what happens is whenever you feel your spirit kind of demanding evolution and growth, we try to resort back to what we're most comfortable with and what we're most familiar with, i.e., we try to go back to our religious pillars or our religious foundation. And you pick the scripture up and say, "Okay, I'm going to read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation again." And you start reading it and you're like, "That's not it." Because it's a deeper spiritual realm that you are reaching for, are searching for. So just doing the things that you were taught to do in Sunday school and in your upbringing in your house, that really is not doing it anymore, because now you've grown to a place, or you've come to a place in your spiritual evolution, well, now you are open and prepared to experience greater spiritual interactions and connections with God. Now, I'm saying with God because there's a lot of spiritual things, and people connect with energies and crystals and vibrations and frequencies, and all of those things do exist, but that's not our aim nor our goal here. Okay. So when you as you continue to move forward in life, I think that we are just as we are in a time where technology is advancing at the speed of thought almost, I believe that there is spiritual advancement at that same speed. I think it is accelerated. And so I want you to give attention, time, and ear to what your spirit is saying to you, because your spirit now is craving for more than a typical experience. Your spirit now is craving to have some type of developmental experience. It is curious to learn. Well, not curious to learn, but curious to teach you more, right? And so we have to become a student to make sure that we're not only able to celebrate wins, but we're able to evolve and learn the lessons of life. And so when we discuss evolving spiritually and how that will affect you on in your everyday life, there's a couple things I want to share with you this morning. And if you don't hear anything else, I want you to get these two things. You may want to jot them down or make sure that you come back to this at some point throughout the day to jot it down so that you can meditate on these two things throughout the rest of the week and the days to come thereafter, because it's really going to help you continue to evolve. And these are some things that we have to accept within ourselves. And it's going to help you. I'm telling you, it's going to help you as it relates to moving forward in life, right? Okay, so the first thing I want to say that one of the first benefits of evolving spiritually and understanding that there is always room for you to evolve, and it's always necessary for us to be evolving spiritually, is the impact that it has on our everyday life and our successes. So now listen at this, and I'm going to tie it all together in the end, but I just want you to hear what I'm getting ready to say. Because whenever we talk about evolving spiritually, we have goals, we have destinations, we have go-tos, we have things that we want to accomplish the same way we do in our everyday life. And the two are working by the same principle. And so here it is. Here's the principle. Whenever you're setting these goals, now watch this. Who you are as a person when you're setting these goals may not be the person that you need to be in order to reach these goals. Did you hear what I just said? Who you are as a person when you're setting these goals may not be the person that you need to be in order to reach these goals. In other words, you can set a goal right now today, and in order for you to fulfill that, it may call for you to be someone that you're not yet. Do you get that? You may have to evolve. You may have to experience a renewing of your mind in order to evolve into that person. The spirit of that individual that has the capacity, tenacity, and wherewithal to reach that goal. Most of the times, people give up on their goals, not because their goals were unattainable, but it was because the person that they were when they set the goal was not the person that they needed to be in order to reach the goal. And so whether this is furthering your education, whether this is changing your professional career, whether this is launching your business, whether this is going into a marriage, whether this is adapting to your single life, you can have a goal in mind, but you may need to evolve into someone else in order to achieve that goal. Because if you were the person when you set the goal 9 times out of 10 would have already been reached, right? You would have already attained that goal if who you were was already where you need to be or who you need to be in order to reach that goal. And so this is what I'm talking about. Whenever you evolve, you understand that my goal setting and the things that I desire to accomplish in life, it may call for me to evolve, right? And I mean, you got to ask yourself this question right here. Your person, the person that you are right now, is this really the person that can attain and manage and steward the millions that you believe in God for? You may have to become someone else, you know. If you say, well, I just got a big heart and I'm so kind, and if I got it, anybody could get it. I'll give anybody the shirt off my back and all that. But if you're managing that type of wealth, you may not be able to be that person because that particular person being so liberal in their giving can actually hurt other people, because you don't want to begin to finance someone's habits, right? Because you're not helping them at that point, you're hurting them. And so when I say you may not be the person that you need to be in order to reach that goal, there's some things that you got to learn about where you're going, and that is what define the seasons of our lives. That's why I always tell you, you make sure you have an expectation. When you don't have an expectation, your future has no obligation to deliver you anything in particular. But whenever you have an expectation and you set goals for yourself, all of your seasons are pertaining to the necessary preparation to conform you into who you need to be in order to reach the goal that have been set, the desired outcome. God has his own for us. I know the thoughts I think towards you, thoughts of peace, not of evil, to give you an expected end. And based upon those thoughts and based upon that expected end, I'm going to order these seasons to happen in your life, because these seasons are going to mold you into the person that you need to be in order to manage and access the goal that I've set for you. Well, we need to take a page out of his lesson book. We have to be able to understand that when we set goals, we also we must evolve into the person that will be the best fit for achieving that goal. Wouldn't it be a shame for you to set an extraordinary goal for yourself and then reach it, but because you're still the person with a bad attitude or the flip mouth or the person without patience, you get there and you blow it all because you wasn't prepared as a person to handle the goal that you had achieved? That would be horrible, but we see it all the time. We see these young kids. They go from high school into professional sports, or as children they are born on the big screen, and they've been doing movies since they were kids. And then whenever they are adults, they just fall apart, and we're like, what happened to them? And it's because they never evolved into the person that they needed to be in order to maintain and manage the success that they had achieved in life. So again, I'm going to say it. The person that you are when you set the goal may not be the person that you need to be in order to reach the goal and to maintain the goal, right? And so, like with this, the thing is, when we settle this, it brings me to my second thing, and that is, we know, and I think we all agree that in life, unanticipated things will happen, and there's no way for you to predict what life will throw at you. You can't control what life will throw at you. You don't get a chance to censor and edit what life throws at you. We know that unanticipated things can happen. So what we have to do is to commit to getting better at the things that are happening. I'm not telling you. I'm not saying that you got to change or you can control what happens. You have to just settle within yourself. In life, things will happen, and so I want to become better at the things that are happening. I want to become better at handling the things that happen because things will happen. That's where your peace is. That's where your strength is. It's not when you control the narrative and you want to be in control of what happens in life. And that's the thing that frustrates you. That's the thing that will cause you to give up on a goal or a dream. These being unable to control what happens and how it happens, instead of wanting to control what happens and how it happens, you need to begin to say, I'm going to be prepared on how to handle the things that happen, whatever those things are, whether it's seen or unforeseen. I want to be better at handling those things because I know that things will happen. And while I'm preparing for my goal to be achieved, I'm also preparing to handle the things that'll come up that were not in my plan, that I did not include in my plan. I want to be able to handle those things because those things could stop me from achieving the thing that I've set before myself as a goal. So I have to continue to evolve to become the person that's able to reach that goal. And I also have to begin or continue to become better at handling the things that will happen that were not anticipated on my behalf whenever I set this goal or when I set out to achieve this goal. I want to be able to handle the happenings of my life. I don't want every time something unanticipated happens in my life, I don't want to be the one to fall apart and say, well, because this happened, this messed me up, or I won't be able to accomplish this, or I won't be able to do this or do that because I did not anticipate this happening. And this has thrown me totally off. No. You learn to get better. You evolve. Your evolution, spiritual evolution, you will get better at handling the things that are happening. You get better at it. You don't run from it. You don't back down. You don't cancel it. You don't click out of the whole page. You don't shut the whole operation or goal or dream down. You continue to evolve spiritually to get better at it. And so a lot of your character, now watch this, because all of us have character flaws. A lot of your character flaws can be corrected by spiritual evolution. Because now when I say character flaws, I'm talking about, most of us always say we have a tendency to do something, or I got this bad habit of doing this and that. I'm going to tell you something this morning that may shock you, but it's definitely going to set you free. If you are that person and you're saying, I have a tendency to just talk reckless. I have a tendency to get anger. I have the habit of procrastination and all that. Those are not tendencies and habits. They're only tendencies and habits before you are aware that you're doing those things. Once you are aware that you're doing those things, those are not tendencies or habit. Those are choices, because you're continuing or you're choosing to continue with these things that are not helping you, but are in fact hurting you. Yeah. Yeah. It's not a habit. It's not a tendency. It's a choice at this point. You're choosing to continue to use your words recklessly. You're choosing to continue to procrastinate. That's a choice. It's not a tendency anymore. It's not a habit. It's a part of your character. It's a part of who you are. And so through spiritual evolution, your spirit will be able to govern and give you the necessary discipline that it calls for you to manage these things and not allow these things to just wreak havoc in your life, and to just have you all over the place and all off course, right? No one wants to be off course. And many of us, we try to get back on course, but we're trying to do it through the mentality that we currently have. But if the mentality that you currently have was strong enough to handle that, you would not be in this place in the first place. And so when you realize that you're off and you can't get, then that's where you revert back to Romans 12:2. Let me renew my mind. It's time for me to evolve spiritually so that my spirit man can manage my carnal mind and help me to discover the discipline that's already in me, and the discipline that is necessary for me to manage these things that are actually hindering my progress forward. Right? And it's a process. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. You won't be able to see a magic prayer to do it. It's a process. Evolution is a process. Evolution does not happen in one day. It's not instantaneous. It's something that happens over time. And so when you commit to evolving spiritually and you begin to develop spiritually, you'll see that other things in your life will begin to line up with your spirit. And I'm telling you, your mentality will always line up with your spirit, because whenever your spirit is healthy and evolving and in a good state, you will see that your mind will function accordingly. It's very rare that you will see negativity in everything is when your spirit is healthy. It's very rare that you would have intrusive thoughts that are influencing you into reckless behavior when your spirit is right. Because when those thoughts come, your spirit is alerted, and your spirit is like, that's not right. We need to check that right now. We're gonna check that at the door. That's not prohibited here. It's not allowed. You got to go. I can't continue to think along these lines. And you change your mind and you change your thoughts, ultimately resulting in you developing a better self. It results in you developing a better self. And I want you to understand that the entire body of work that we call the Bible, it's all about us becoming a better self to be presented before God. But one of the benefits of becoming a better self to be presented before him is we also benefit from becoming better. I used to have this saying that I used to say all the time: just because you do good don't mean you can't do better. And just because you can do better doesn't mean that you didn't do good, right? And so I'm saying that to you. I'm not saying that you're not doing good. I'm saying you can do better. But I'm also saying just because you can do better don't mean that you didn't do good. Like the two can go hand in hand, and you can evolve in that principle. And if you're able to adopt that principle, I think you'll see the results more frequently of achieving your goals. But if I challenge you today to allow your spiritual evolution to be a part of your goal reaching. Whatever it is that you set before you, however many things you have, incorporate spiritual evolution into that. I know you have the steps. I know you have got to do this, that, and that. I got to call this person, connect with that person. I know you have all of those steps out, but I want to challenge you to include your spiritual evolution in that process, to allow who you are spiritually to develop more, to connect with God more in the process of it. I want to challenge you to go back to setting your alarm clock 15 minutes earlier so that for 15 minutes, the first 15 minutes of your day, you can pray. You ain't got to get down on your knees, because if your knees like mine, sit on the edge of your bed, sit up in your bed. Go sit at the table, at a chair, but give 15 minutes for your spirit man to be renewed and to be refreshed for the day that is before you. And I promise you, whenever you begin to develop and submit to this evolution, commit to this evolution, you're going to see other things in your life line up. If you can't do it in the morning, make sure that you have 15 minutes. Don't get off of work and do everything you got to do and TikTok yourself to sleep. Set aside 15 minutes. And I'm saying 15 minutes, whatever it may be for you. It could be 5, it could be 2. So much can be said and done in prayer and meditation with God in 2 minutes. But if you can give him 15, give him 15. Whatever you can give him. But give him something and let it be uninterrupted. And begin to practice that. Practice it as a habit or a tendency until you become aware of when you don't do it. And at that point, then it's a choice. You're choosing every day to spend your first 15 minutes with God. You're choosing every evening to spend your last 15 minutes with God. Or in the middle of your day, I'm not giving you a schedule. And I think that's where we mess up in the Christian community. We want to give a formula to everything, but there is no formula to our spiritual evolution. No one has the magic formula, because what works for you works for you. But I am saying that committing to spiritual evolution works for all across the board. It's something that works for all of us. And what I'm sharing with you today are the principles and the benefits of these principles, being aware of them. Once you are made aware of something and you continue it, it's a choice. I'm asking you today to choose to evolve spiritually. Choose to become the person that you need to be in order to achieve your goals. Choose to become better at the things that are unanticipated that may happen in your life. Choose to do that. Listen, man, I hope I've said something to encourage you guys and just provoke you all to just seek this out further. We're just about out of time. I love you guys, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to have these 45 minutes or so of your time every weekly. Time is precious, and I realize that you could be spending it anywhere else. But the fact that you guys meet me here means the world to me, and I do appreciate that. I don't want you to ever think that I take for granted the fact that you guys are here meeting with me every week, and it's my privilege to have a seat in the VIP section of your life and witness you guys do great things, and just to be able to see the journey and be there to be an eyewitness. It fulfills me like nothing else. So I thank you guys so much for your time. Listen, if you need me before next Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, make sure that you hit me up via DM, inbox, the email, the phone call, text message. And I'll get back with you at my earliest convenience. But I do also want to encourage you guys to make sure that whenever we click off here, you go and make a donation. If these sessions on Sundays, if they're inspiring you and they're blessing you, I want to encourage you to go and make a donation, and it will help us to keep spreading this message to people. Whenever I do my one-on-one sessions, I've told you guys before, not everybody can afford a one-on-one session. So the contributions that I make here, I use those to help me when I do my pro bono sessions all throughout the weekend. I have them every single day. Every single day, 7 days a week. I promise you I have it. So these contributions help me to continue to do that. And I want to encourage you guys to go and make a donation. They're greatly appreciated. I love you all. You guys go and have the best week ever, and I will see you next Sunday morning. I bid you all blessings and Godspeed. Don't forget to hit that like button. Speak life, it is a new day. All things in my past, yeah. Welcome to the new year. Me step out in faith and no fear. Blessings go find me, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss if ever gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Money gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss the blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Let me claim it. All of my blessings, me name it. With faith, me I go own it. Nothing shall get home it. Speak life, it is a new day. All things in my past, yeah. Welcome to the new year. Me step out in faith and no fear. Blessings go find me, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss if ever gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Money gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss the blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Let me claim it. All of my blessings, me name it. With faith, me I go own it. Nothing shall get home it. Speak life, it is a new day. All things in my past, yeah. Welcome to the new year. Me step out in faith and no fear. Blessings go find me, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Love you guys. See you next week.